Redditors who lost their job because of a post to a social media platform. What happened? I had to fire someone for one. He was a volunteer firefighter and left for a call which I allowed. 15 minutes later someone showed me his 5-minute-old post of him riding quad saying something along the lines of sometimes you just need to F off from work. That put him on a final warning. He then left because he said his house was on fire. Then half an hour later his wife tagged him in a photo of him sitting in a kiddie pool in front of his house. The funny thing is, in both cases, if he had simply asked to leave early I probably would have said yes. Edit. To clarify, this was over different days a few weeks apart and he worked for me but also volunteered as a firefighter. The fire chief also found out about this and dismissed him from that position as well. This guy had a few issues needless to say and honesty was not something with which he was familiar. I work in a hospital and there was a police shooting in my area a couple of years ago and multiple officers were brought into our ER. One officer was DOA and a number of idiot hospital employees posted condolences on their Facebook pages with the name of the officer before the family was officially informed. If memory serves 7 or 8 employees were rightfully fired for that one. A former colleague of mine posted about how he was going to use up all his sick leave then quit. He posted it at 9 AM. He was told he had no more job at 11. I had to fire an employee for a tweet he wrote about a customer. He tweeted, "Customer's full name would be a great name for a gay porn star." I found out about it when the customer's lawyer called me the next day threatening action. Turns out the guy worked for the local newspaper and obsessively searched his name on all social media. I've had one employer refuse to hire me because I didn't have a Facebook at the time. Wasn't a HR or social job. It was a fast food joint. That's just a butthurt manager with control freak tendencies. They can't stalk you on social media? Guess you aren't trustworthy. I was younger and an idiot. I posted something on Facebook about wanting to go home and play The Sims so I could create telecommunications store I worked for on it and then slowly kill off all the customers. I was working a late night shift in a mall and forgot our new co-worker had added me on Facebook days before. Joined a games studio alongside a guy who just finished his philosophy degree. He felt that the game's official forums were the best place to discuss whether disabled people would be of as much value as pigs after a post-apocalyptic event. And if they should be simply slaughtered and eaten. All using his company account. Of course. I used to work for Geek Squad in college and a co-worker was fired when a famous actor came in and she posted on Facebook a lot of his private info. Like full name came into our store and bought this and has a black Amex card and stuff he had on his computer. Not once but on 2 separate occasions. Not me. But a girl on my Facebook worked for the postal service in my town. She posted on Facebook how she wanted to slit her boss's throat and went into some gory details. Then, about 5 hours later, she posted another status about how the feds showed up at her house and that one of her co-workers had showed her boss the status and she was now fired. She's obviously really dumb and trashy. I posted my Facebook status about how big of dickhead my boss is. And tagged him. He fired you for that? What a dickhead. I had the courtesy to tag him. Former Chipotle manager here, as many of you know. Chipotle gives away free it on Halloween. So it's a mandatory weekend for everyone to work. Well, one of our employees called off that Thursday saying he had swine flu. Right. Of course he posted pics of his weekend partying on his FB. Upon which he was friends with our kitchen manager, general manager, and district manager. Per company policy and common ducking sense, you can't return to work from serious contagious it without a doctor's note. So he shows back up on Wednesday acting all fine and saying the doc cleared him. Oh. But his mom threw his release note away. Too bad, buddy. We need that it or you can't work. Since we didn't know when he would have it. We only gave him 1 day on the schedule anyway. So then his mommy calls me and asks why he can't work. I ask her if she went to a restaurant and found out a cook hadn't proven he was cleared from having swine flu. Would she eat there? She saw my point. But it's not his fault she threw away the note. They were remodeling. I asked, why can't the doc write a new one? Well, he went on vacation. Couldn't the receptionist or a PA get them something? She huffed and hung up on me. The next day he puts on FB Dear Capital and managers, instead of cutting hours on someone. Why not grow the ducking balls to fire them outright? Suck my dick. Pretty easy to let him go after that. Didn't lose my job, but I watched a friend lose his over a tweet. He tweeted, so getting head while delivering pizzas is pretty sweet one night while he was working. The next morning he tweeted, yo duck you Papa Johns, I don't need you or your stupid job anyway, or something to that effect. I've never laughed so hard in my life. Guy at my company got sacked for putting a Facebook status along the lines of FNG immigrants. I hate them, not realizing both his bosses, also owners of the company, were second generation immigrants from India. They started the company from scratch and now employ 30 people. They pay for full gym membership, healthcare, and generous pension for all the staff, which he had to say goodbye to when he was fired. How's that for your effing immigrants? Edit, format. I was once passed over for a job because I barely use Facebook. They straight up told me that they couldn't trust me because of how little info was on my page. For future reference, I'm sorry employers, that 90% of my Facebook page is related to StarCraft and or miscellaneous gaming. I'm sorry that I don't get drunk and post embarrassing photos of things you could fire me over. My personal life is my business and not Facebook's. Not me. But a co-worker of mine was fired recently because he got caught sneaking off work to smoke weed and drink by Facebook. This moron would post photos of him smoking and drinking on Facebook. The boss found out and predictably fired him on the spot. The best part? This guy was almost 30 years old. And not just some dumb teenager. My female friend, 18, was DM'd through Twitter by the news presenter, 37, of our city. He was talking about her beach pictures and how she is really pretty and how they need to get together. She ended up telling him that it's pretty ridiculous that he's trying to get with her. He lost his job later that week. The only real reason he lost his job was because he used the Weather Channel's Twitter account. Not me, but in my town was a very public case where the girls' basketball coach lost her job because she posted a picture of her husband touching her breast on Facebook. Lots of people got mad and she got her job back. Now her and her husband, who is a coach at a different school, are leaving to coach at a charter school in a different town. I was working as a bartender and server for a place. The assistant manager was a petty tyrant and treated the staff like it. I had made several complaints about him to the general manager and the owner with some of the other staff, but they refused to do anything about it. So I was done with this place and was currently looking for a new job. When one day I was berending and a very young looking girl came. She hands me her out of state ID. And I can tell that it is fake. I politely tell her that I can't serve her alcohol. And explain that in this state we don't legally have to accept out of state IDs. Blah blah blah. She was actually very understanding and there was no scene or issue. Her friends arrive and they move to a table and I informed their server about the fake ID. It is around this time that the assistant manager, who had been drinking Bloody Marys at the bar next door all morning and then napping in the office, came over. He then starts telling me that I don't know what a fake ID looks like and I don't have the right to refuse service and how stupid I am. He then tells me I have to serve the girl. I inform him that I have the legal right to refuse service. And he cannot force me to. Anyway, I go home and post on the Facebook about my day. And then include a photo of when I was managing a liquor store holding a device of medieval defense made out of all the fake IDs we had confiscated in 1 year. Also a crown. The next day I was called in and let go for refusing to cooperate with management and what have you. TL. Doctor got fired for posting a sweet picture of me wearing a crown and holding a shield of fake IDs. Edit. Picture. I worked customer support for a mobile game company. I was honest with a disheartened customer. who had complained that recent changes had made the game pay to win. It had, in truth, been a glitch with an update. I told them as much, assuring them the team would be fixing it in the next update. But then the game's profits skyrocketed. The team kept the glitch and put out a statement describing the change as an intentional one designed to improve the play experience. But there was my name plastered all over the game forums, claiming the opposite. I technically worked for a separate company that provided support for several studios, but the studio behind this game was our biggest customer. They approached my bosses, furious I jeopardized their cash cow, and demanded I be fired. I promptly became familiar with the underside of the bus, as I was gone within the week. TLDR, worked customer support for mobile games. Told truth. Went viral-ish. Fired. Oh. This happened to me many years ago. I was on the job a week at a law firm, and had to ride with one of the female employees to the UPS store. She was a terrible driver, and almost wrecked multiple times. I posted on Facebook. 1 week on the job and my coworker is trying to kill me. Worst driver ever. The next day I was called into my boss's office with a girl sitting there with an expressionless look on her face. And there was a printout of my post. It was awkward and they fired me on the spot. All of my account information was also set to private, so they figured a way to check my activity. I had a coworker who posted something about shooting up X-World DM and got reported. He had several coworkers on his Facebook page, and then fired. Another coworker is consistently posting hateful things about his job and his coworkers, but has not been fired yet, just reprimanded. On a sort of related note, I was suspended in high school because a friend posted a terrorist threat via my Facebook. Comcast fired me for a tweet I made. Here's what happened. Someone on my timeline posted an article about Comcast customer service. Someone replied to him saying, "Wow. Comcast actually has customer service? Lol. Working in customer service myself." I reply, from a personal account that is in no way connected with my job, with the tweet. "Yup. We do. We complain about management as much as you do." Comcast did not like that. Despite me having zero personal details on Twitter, they somehow still figured out it was me. I realized after that I had GPS auto-look on for my tweets, so I suppose they could have looked through that data to figure out where I lived. I checked. It's clear what house I live in whenever I tweet about being home. Anyway, the point is, they linked the account back to me and fired me for suggesting the employees are anything other than 100% happy all day at work. Seriously. That's almost what they said to me when they fired me. The best I can recall it was, "You said the employees aren't happy. We can't have people suggesting the employees are in any way unhappy with management. It makes us look bad as a company." Comcast has worked extremely hard to get the reputation it currently has, and things like this will make people see Comcast in a negative light, which is unacceptable. They also implied, though did not outright state, they are letting legal look at it to see if they have a libel case against me. It's been 5 months and I haven't heard a damn thing from them, so I assume not. The weirdest part was, the woman firing me seemed completely unaware the general public hates Comcast. I remember hearing a story about a young teacher in my province getting fired for posting vacation pictures to Facebook, bikini, margaritas. A dipit parent or teacher reported it, as any uptight group of PTA mothers would want to defend young eyes from that. At the moment German Facebook is full of anti-refugees, anti-asylum and all kinds of Pegida-related pages. Some of the comments on there are very hateful, to put it lightly. Holocaust references, gas them, send them to camps, etc. Aplenty. Well, the people commenting aren't the brightest most of the time, and they don't realize that their comments are a public B, in some cases illegal, and C, have consequences in the real world. Loads of people had to go to court, were fined or fired from their job already. So to answer your question, Many companies from small family-owned to multinationals take it very seriously. Nobody wants to be associated with certain people. I lost my job because I was upset at my boss and I put it on Facebook. A customer threatened me and instead of kicking me out, the boss bought him free shots. So I posted to Facebook that anyone who came and cussed me out would get a free shot and VIP. Kid on my college baseball team got kicked off for tweeting song lyrics. My redneck coach read it out loud to the team and yelled that if the kid was dating his daughter and he saw the kid tweet stuff like that, he would take him into the Ocala National Forest and bury him where nobody would ever find him. Then we had to run.